Your spiritual evolution is calling, are you listening? Just when we think we have an area of our lives dialed in, some spiritual guru will remind us, the only constant is change. Even if our ducks aren't exactly in a row, the thought of change will often ruffle our mama duck feathers as we worry about a whole host of what-ifs. Our steadfast egos like constant, not constant change. But, alas, we are ever evolving, ever shifting, physically, emotionally, mentally and spiritually. The transformations may be great or minuscule, but they are always there moving us along our journey of life. As humans, there are times when our changes are so great that we clearly identify and acknowledge them. Physically speaking, our major transitions are the touch points of our development. Everything you want to know about, such as what to expect when you're expecting, your growing child, adolescent development, and aging, will be answered in a multitude of books. Emotional people, like children, can go from laughter to tears in a matter of minutes, then bounce right back to joy. Those who aren't as fluid in their emotional bodies may not experience such extremes, but their subtleties can feel equally stirring to them. Then there are our varying thoughts. Like flashes of lightning, sometimes we seek them out to illuminate us with their brightness. Other times we long for quietude in the endless, thunderous rumbling in our minds. Although the soul is timeless and infinite, our human selves experience spiritual changes that affect our lives just as profoundly as the material ones, if not more so. For most people, these shifts may not be easy to identify, much less understand. What can be confusing is that our spiritual development can cause fear, anxiety, and feelings of isolation. Rather than feeling bliss or oneness, as one might expect, we can find ourselves experiencing apathy and frustration toward everything. It can be heartening to learn that these experiences, as we shift spiritually, are quite typical. Imagine starting your first period, or experiencing your first wet dream, without anyone telling you that this was a normal part of adolescent development. Knowing that we are experiencing something that is common not only reduces our anxiety, it opens the door to connecting with others who have experienced the same thing. Like learning about our sexual development from our adolescent friends, sometimes we can be misinformed about our spiritual development, which only causes more anxiety. Similar to the boy who wants to boast about his sexual, usually fantasy, experiences to impress his friends, spiritual teachers, who are often seeking clients, will share how wonderful their lives are. And how everything came together when they learned mindfulness, to manifest, to control their thoughts, how to connect with their angel guides, and so on. Rarely will the stories of impotency, pain, awkwardness and dissatisfaction come forth isolating those who've had such experiences. Today there are masses of people experiencing major shifts into higher states of consciousness as our collective belief in our separation from our spiritual source dissolves. As a result, phrases such as the New Age or the Shift have merged into mainstream culture. We have witnessed an explosion of resources related to our spiritual evolution. Books such as A New Earth, Awakening to Your Life's Purpose and the Conversations with God series have given millions of people a new perspective. The list of spiritually focused movies, YouTube videos and websites grows exponentially as people seek to understand and participate in our collective movement to become enlightened, whatever the individual's spiritual path or practice may be. Since most of the resources are aimed to reach the awakening masses, the information can feel elementary or incomplete to the highly evolved soul. Most spiritual seekers have come to the conscious awareness that we actively participate in the unfoldment of our lives. They recognize that we aren't just victims of life's whims and woes, with a certain and unwavering destiny ahead of us. Those who have discovered the secret have heartily experimented with positive thoughts with varying degrees of success, understanding that life still happens. Seekers who have developed a conscious relationship with their spirituality soon realize that there isn't a panacea out there, so have learned to gather an array of tools to cultivate their spiritual evolution and happiness. Yet, it's important to note that our current spiritual evolution includes the emergence of many masters and mystics. And, as odd as it may seem, some of these light-bearers have yet to see, believe or embrace their significant spiritual part in the upliftment of humanity's consciousness. Unaware, these masters and mystics look and act like the rest of us, but have grown bored of the pursuit of happiness, become disinterested in spiritual seeking, and perhaps have lost their ability to manifest. They are wise beyond books, have felt different from the time they were young, and have guided people in some way most of their lives. Whether or not they are aware of their role, they are experiencing higher states of spiritual development as the collective continues to expand. As such, these experiences of disconnection, disinterest, and not desiring to fully recognize who they are is a very normal part of their journey. It is prompting them to do something. To step into who they really are. These masters have walked a long, often hard, and conscious road across many lifetimes and dimensions, and they are getting weary and/or bored. They have released much along the way, belief systems, excuses, negative behaviors, and limiting perspectives, yet they still grapple with their seeming imperfections. They feel an unidentifiable restlessness in their soul. As human spiritual beings, we are ready to expand and experience our whole selves more fully, which includes our spiritual development. And, similar to physical growth, most people experience major changes in their lives as they move from one stage to another. Moving into the stage of awakening to your masterhood, regardless of practical spiritual study, or your mysticism, even if you don't yet recognize your powers, can be uncomfortable and somewhat lonely. It can poke at your feelings of unworthiness, even though you know you have good self-esteem. Yet, the unsettledness in your soul is calling you to step into your higher state of consciousness and spiritual evolution. It is time to own your highly evolved state. The exhaustion you feel is because you've been holding space for the collective as it has expanded. The stirring comes from your soul's need to embrace who you are. In doing so, not only will you finally free yourself from the heaviness and uncertainty you've been carrying, you can consciously choose to help navigate our next quantum leap in our planet's evolution as we align with love consciousness. Operator, if you like our article, give Conscious Reminder a thumbs up, and help us spread love light. Operator.